The fluorescent light above my bed flickers for the 47th time today. I've been counting, because counting is what keeps me sane in here. That, and the steady drip of my IV, marking time like a metronome stuck on the world's most depressing song. Darling, you look better today. Mother's voice slices through my thoughts. Her Chanel No. 5 arrives before she does, a choking cloud that makes my eyes water. She settles into the visitor's chair, perfectly coiffed as always, while my sister Serenity hovers by the door like she's afraid my condition might be catching. The doctors say your episodes are under control now, Serenity adds, her voice trembling with what anyone else might mistake for concern. He's managing. With Emma. My daughter's name hits like a punch to the gut. When can I see her? Mother's practiced smile doesn't reach her eyes. Let's focus on your recovery, dear. There's something we need to discuss. She reaches for my hand. I let her take it, even though her touch makes my skin crawl. We've had to make some difficult decisions. Legal matters, you understand, to protect everyone involved. What legal matters? The heart monitor betrays my spike of anxiety with faster beeps. Just temporary measures, Serenity chirps, finally approaching the bed. The court's agreed it's best given your condition. The documentation of your incidents. The room suddenly feels too small, too bright. What documentation? The night you tried to... Mother pauses delicately. Well, when you had your episode at the reservoir. And the things you said about Alex, about Emma. The paranoid accusations. I never... The words stick in my throat. Yes, I'd been struggling. Yes, I'd gone to the reservoir that night, but not to... They'd twisted everything, made my breakdown into something darker. It's all been properly filed. Mother continues, smoothing her silk blouse. The declaration of death in absentia. It's cleaner this way, darling. Alex can move forward. Emma won't have to deal with the uncertainty. The monitor screams faster. You declared me legally dead? My voice sounds strange, distant. Your sister and I are handling everything. The lawsuit against Alex will ensure Emma's future is secure. Mother squeezes my hand. We're doing this for you, Margaret. For your little girl. Lawsuit? The word tastes like copper in my mouth. Wrongful death, Serenity explains, as if she's telling me about a new juice cleanse. Given the circumstances leading up to your... Well, you know. I pull my hand away from Mother's grasp. The movement sends the IV pole rattling, but I barely hear it over the roaring in my ears. They've erased me, written me out of my own life while I lay here, trusting them to help me heal. You should rest now. Mother stands smoothing non-existent wrinkles from her skirt. We'll handle everything. That's what family is for. They leave me with kisses that feel like brands on my cheek. Promises to return that sound like threats. The fluorescent light flickers again, 48. I watch it pulse, each flash illuminating the truth I've been too medicated to see. I'm not sick anymore, haven't been for weeks. But they keep coming with their concerned voices and practiced lies, keeping me docile with stories about my treatment plan, while they dismantle my life piece by piece. The night nurse appears with my evening meds. I let the pills dissolve under my tongue, then spit them into the toilet when she leaves. My head needs to be clear now, because while they've been plotting my death, they've forgotten one crucial detail. I'm very much alive. And I remember everything. The light flickers once more, 49. By 50, I'll have the beginnings of a plan. By the time that bulb finally burns out, they'll wish they'd chosen a different daughter to destroy. The key sticks in the lock of apartment 3B. I jiggle it 3 times before the door finally creaks open, revealing bare walls and the lingering smell of fresh paint. My state-issued discharge bag feels impossibly light against my hip. Some basic clothes, a prepaid phone, and prescription bottles I'll never open. The floor creaks under my feet as I explore my new transitional housing. 1 bedroom, a kitchenette with missing cabinet doors, and a bathroom where the tap won't stop dripping. But it's real. The rough texture of the walls beneath my fingers grounds me in a way the hospital's smooth surfaces never could. Emma's laughter echoes in my memory, the way she'd squeal when Alex would swing her up onto his shoulders. 3 months. They've kept me away from my daughter for 3 months while they dismantled everything I built. I pull out the prepaid phone and dial Alex's number. My hands shake as it rings. Hello? Serenity's voice answers, syrupy sweet and completely wrong. I almost hang up but force myself to speak. Why are you answering Alex's phone? Maggie! Oh, thank goodness you're okay. We were so worried when you checked yourself out without telling anyone. The concern in her voice is as fake as Mother's designer handbags. Where's Alex? He's busy right now. With Emma. You understand, right? The custody arrangement is very specific. What custody arrangement? My knuckles turn white around the phone. I never signed anything. Well, no, but given your legal status. She pauses, and I can practically see her practice sympathetic head tilt. The courts had to make certain provisions. For Emma's safety. Let me talk to my husband. Ex-husband, technically. The death declaration dissolved the marriage automatically. She says it like she's explaining a simple math problem. But don't worry. The wrongful death suit is proceeding exactly as planned. Mother's lawyers are the best. I sink onto the bare mattress in the corner. You really think you'll get away with this? Get away with what? We're just following the law, Maggie, making sure justice is served. Her voice hardens slightly. Though I suppose now we'll have to amend the paperwork, since you've decided to resurface. I want to see my daughter. That's not possible right now. You're still listed as deceased in the system, and your mental health history, she sighs, just focus on getting better. We'll handle everything else. Like you handled everything while I was hospitalised? Exactly. You see, you do understand. The false brightness is back. Oh, I have to go. Emma needs help with her homework. Take care of yourself, okay? The line goes dead. I stare at the phone until the screen dims, then hurl it against the wall. It bounces off, unbroken, mocking me with its durability. Standing, I move to the window. The city sprawls below, lights beginning to twinkle in the dusk. Somewhere out there, my daughter is doing homework. My husband, ex-husband, according to Serenity, is living the life they stole from me. And my sister is playing happy families with what's left of mine. I press my forehead against the cool glass. The dripping tap in the bathroom keeps time like a countdown, each drop a reminder that I'm running out of time. They've taken everything, my marriage, my child, my identity, left me with nothing but this empty apartment and a growing rage that burns hotter than any fever they claimed I had. My breath fogs the window, and I find myself drawing in it with my finger. Numbers, dates, connections, everything they've let slip. Mother's lawyers might be the best, but they've forgotten what I did before the breakdown. They've forgotten I spent 10 years handling corporate litigation before Emma was born. They think they've written me out of the story, but they're wrong. I wipe the window clean with my sleeve. Tomorrow I'll start gathering what I need. Evidence, allies, a way back into the life they tried to erase. But tonight I let myself feel it all. The anger, the loss, the bitter taste of betrayal that coats my tongue. Tonight, I plan. The courier reeks of cigarettes when he hands me the box, making me wrinkle my nose. Sign here, he grunts, holding out a battered tablet. My new name, just Margaret, no last name, looks strange on the screen, like someone else's signature. The box is heavier than it looks. I set it on my fold-out table, the cardboard scraping against the cheap laminate. Fresh ink smell wafts up as I slice through the packing tape with my house key. Inside, manila folders nest like poisonous creatures, each labelled in my mother's precise handwriting. The first document makes my hands shake. Death in absentia, dated 3 weeks after my hospitalisation. Mother's signature flows across the bottom in elegant cursive, followed by Serenity's more hesitant scrawl. They didn't even wait a month before declaring me dead. Due to the subject's documented mental instability and apparent suicidal ideation, I read aloud, the words burning my throat. The medical reports are carefully curated, every moment of confusion or anxiety during my breakdown twisted into something sinister. They've painted me as a danger to myself, to Emma, to everyone around me. Beneath the court orders lies a handwritten note, supposedly mine. The paper is expensive, Mother's personal stationery, I realise, with a bitter laugh. Of course she'd used the good paper for my fake suicide note. I can't bear the weight anymore, I read, bile rising in my throat. Emma deserves better than a mother who sees shadows everywhere. Alex, I'm sorry, please forgive me. The forgery is good, but not perfect. The G loops are too tight, the T crosses too long. Mother never could quite capture my handwriting, even when she used to sign my school permission slips. My fingers trace the embossed seal on the death certificate. The raised pattern feels like Braille, spelling out their betrayal in bumps and ridges. I spread the papers across the table, arranging them chronologically. The story they tell is methodical, calculated. While I was sedated and isolated, they were building their case piece by piece. A photocopy of Emma's new birth certificate makes me grip the table's edge until my knuckles turn white. Father, Alexander. Mother, deceased. Deceased, I whisper, testing the word. It tastes metallic like blood. The last folder contains their lawsuit against Alex. Wrongful death, claiming his emotional abuse, and neglect led to my supposed suicide. They're asking for millions in damages, custody of Emma, even ownership of the house Alex and I bought together. My phone buzzes. A text from Serenity. Hope you're settling in okay. Emma drew a picture today. Wish you could see it. I don't respond. Instead, I take photos of every document, every signature, every seal. The flash catches the watermarks on the court papers, making them shimmer like fish scales. Standing, I move to the window with the death certificate in hand. The setting sun turns the paper translucent, revealing the watermark beneath. Official, legitimate, damning. They did this by the book, made it all nice and legal, but legal isn't the same as right. I pin the documents to my wall, creating a timeline of their deception. The bare drywall accepts the pushpins easily, each one feeling like a small act of defiance. This apartment might be temporary, but these papers are permanent. Evidence. My reflection in the window looks ghostly, superimposed over the city lights, dead on paper, but very much alive. They used the system against me, twisted the truth until it broke. Now I'll do the same to them. I take the fake suicide note and hold it over the kitchen sink. Water from the tap soaks through the expensive paper, making the ink run. The words blur and fade, just like their carefully constructed lies will. I'm sorry, I tell my reflection, echoing the false words they put in my mouth. Not for being alive, but for what I'm about to do to you. The wet paper disintegrates in my hands. I let the pieces swirl down the drain, watching until the last fragment disappears. Then I turn back to my wall of evidence, where their signatures stand out like confessions. They declared me dead. Time to show them just how wrong they were. The coffee shop where Alex and I first met feels smaller now. He sits across from me, fingers drumming against his untouched cappuccino, looking everywhere but at my face. You look... He starts, then stops. They said you were dead. Surprise! The word comes out sharper than intended. Though I guess technically I still am, according to the paperwork. His shoulders tense. I never believed it. The suicide story. But your mother had documents, witnesses, said you'd been planning it for months. And you believed her? I didn't know what to believe. His voice cracks. You were different those last few weeks. Paranoid. Then the hospital and you wouldn't see me. They blocked your visits, I interrupt. Told me you didn't want to come. Understanding dawns in his eyes, followed by something darker. Emma asks about you every day. The sound of her name breaks something loose in my chest. How is she? Growing too fast. Still loves those ridiculous unicorn pajamas. He finally meets my gaze. Your sister brings her new ones every week, plays the perfect aunt, while they sue you for everything we built together. He runs a hand through his hair, a nervous habit I'd almost forgotten. The lawsuit? I can't fight them and keep Emma. They've got judges, character witnesses, all these experts ready to testify about your mental state. I can help. I lean forward, but I need you to trust me. The bell above the door chimes and Whitney walks in, carrying a leather wine bag. Her sommelier's pin catches the light as she slides into the booth beside me. Sorry I'm late. She pulls out a bottle, its label dark and elegant. But I brought a peace offering, something special from the vineyard. Alex eyes the wine uncertainly. It's 10 in the morning. It's not for drinking. Whitney's smile is sharp as she sets her phone on the table. Scan the label. I hold my breath as Alex pulls out his phone. The QR code, hidden in the intricate design of grapevines and stars, takes a moment to register. Then his screen fills with documents, medical records, emails, surveillance photos. What is this? Evidence, I say quietly. Whitney's been helping me gather it. That's your lawyer meeting with my mother 2 weeks before I was hospitalised. And those emails, They're discussing the lawsuit 3 days before I was even admitted. Alex scrolls through the files, his face growing harder with each swipe. They planned this? All of it? Down to the forged suicide note. Whitney taps the wine bottle. Each batch has a different QR code, different pieces of the puzzle. Impossible to trace, completely secure. The evidence just looks like fancy wine marketing to anyone else. Why wine? I almost smile. Mother's a collector. Every bottle gets catalogued, stored, displayed. She'll never throw them away. But she won't scan them either, Alex points out. No, Whitney agrees. But her lawyer will. Her friends will. Everyone she's trying to impress with her precious wine collection will see exactly what kind of person she is. Alex sets down his phone. This is elaborate. It has to be. I reach across the table, not quite touching his hand. They used the system against me, made everything look legal and clean. We have to be smarter. He's quiet for a long moment, studying the wine bottle. Emma's birthday party is next weekend. Your mother's hosting it. Of course she is. The bitterness tastes like coffee grounds on my tongue. She's invited half the county, judges, lawyers, all her society friends. His eyes meet mine. And she always serves the best wine. Whitney's smile widens. I can have a case of this ready by then. Special reserve, very exclusive. You don't have to decide now, I tell Alex. But I need to know. Are you with me? He picks up his cold cappuccino, takes a long sip. When he sets it down, his voice is steady. They took my wife away, tried to take my daughter. Yeah, I'm with you. Whitney pulls the cork with a satisfying pop that sounds like victory. The wine's aroma fills our corner of the cafe, oak and cherry and possibility. To resurrection then, she says, but doesn't pour. We don't need to drink to know what's coming. The game is changing. Mother always said the best revenge is served cold. She forgot that some vintages are better chilled. Your mother's email password was embarrassingly easy to crack, Whitney mutters, her fingers flying across the keyboard. The blue light from her laptop screen makes her look ghostly in the dim apartment. Who still uses their wedding anniversary? I lean over her shoulder, watching strings of code transform into damning evidence. She never changed it. Said remembering new passwords was beneath her. Her arrogance is our gain. Whitney takes a sip of coffee, grimacing at the cold bitterness. Look at this email chain from last February. The timestamp makes my stomach clench. 2 weeks before my hospitalisation. Mother's words glow on the screen. The situation with Margaret has become untenable. Her paranoid accusations about the family trust are concerning. Dr. Roberts agrees she needs intervention. Dr. Roberts? I taste the name like poison. The therapist they chose for me, who apparently was consulting with your mother before ever meeting you. Whitney opens another document. Here's his preliminary diagnosis, dated 3 days before your first session. The laptop's fan whirs as we dig deeper. Each folder reveals more threads of their conspiracy. Medical records altered, witness statements coached, court documents filed with suspicious efficiency. They really thought of everything, I murmur, watching Whitney convert the files into compressed data for the QR code. Almost everything. She pulls up the wine label design. They didn't count on digital breadcrumbs, or friends who know how to follow them. The label looks innocent enough, all elegant script and artsy vineyard imagery. But hidden in the intricate pattern, pixel by pixel, Whitney weaves in our evidence. Each bottle will be a digital time bomb, waiting to expose the truth. My phone buzzes. Mother's name on the screen makes my hand shake. Emma misses you terribly, her message reads. Perhaps if you'd followed the treatment plan. But we're managing. The party planning is coming along beautifully. Another message follows. The caterer remembers your favourite cake. Isn't that thoughtful? We'll think of you while we celebrate. God, she's good, Whitney says, reading over my shoulder. The perfect blend of concern and condescension. Add these to the file. I forward the messages to her. Show everyone how she really communicates with her dead daughter. Whitney's keyboard clicks like ice cracking. Outside, rain begins to fall, drumming against the windows. The sound mingles with the soft whir of her laptop, creating a rhythm that feels like a countdown. Look at this, she says suddenly. Your sister's been busy too. A new email chain appears, Serenity corresponding with their lawyer about Emma's trust fund. About transferring assets. About ensuring I'll never have access to my daughter or our family's money again. The timestamp, I point out. That's from this morning. They're still plotting. Good. Whitney's smile is sharp in the blue light. Let them dig themselves deeper. She pulls up the QR code generator, feeding in our collected evidence. The screen fills with black and white squares, each pixel a piece of their undoing. We'll need different versions, she explains, creating multiple codes. Can't make it too obvious. Some bottles will reveal the medical records, others the emails. A few lucky scanners will get the full package. How many people actually scan wine labels? I ask. More than you'd think, especially at fancy parties where everyone's trying to prove they know their wines. She tests the code with her phone. Perfect. Each scan logs the IP address too. We'll know exactly who sees what. The laptop casts shadows on my wall of evidence, making the pinned documents dance like puppets. In the dark, Mother's signature looks almost demonic. One more thing. Whitney opens a final file. I found Alex's original visitor logs from the hospital. The ones showing he tried to see you every day. My throat tightens. Include them. She nods, adding the logs to our digital arsenal. The rain picks up, hammering against the windows like applause. Done, Whitney announces, closing the laptop. The room plunges into near darkness, lit only by my small desk lamp. The labels go to print tomorrow. By the time your mother's precious party starts, every bottle will be loaded with truth. I pick up one of our test bottles, running my finger over the sample label. The paper is expensive, the design flawless. Mother won't be able to resist showing them off. To digital revenge. Whitney raises her cold coffee. I lift my own mug, clinking it against hers. And to mothers who never suspect their daughters know how to code. The rain keeps falling. Nature's applause for our performance. Act 1 is almost complete. Soon, the real show begins. The conference room's industrial cleaner can't quite mask years of stale desperation. Alex's lawyer, Rita, spreads documents across the polished table while I twist the wine bottle in my hands, checking the label one final time. Your mother's legal team is thorough, Rita says, tapping a stack of papers. They've built a compelling narrative. Grieving family seeks justice for a troubled daughter driven to suicide by a negligent husband. Except I'm not dead. The bottle's glass is cool against my palms. No, but legally. Rita adjusts her glasses. You were when they filed. And your resurrection complicates things without necessarily invalidating their claims about Alex's alleged abuse. Alex's jaw tightens. I know, Rita cuts him off. But perception matters more than truth in cases like this. Your mother's team has lined up expert witnesses, character testimonies, even your old therapist. Dr. Roberts. The name tastes bitter. Who diagnosed me before ever meeting me? Exactly. Rita leans forward. Which is why timing is crucial. If we reveal the fraud too early, they'll have time to adapt. Too late, and the damage to Alex's reputation will be done. I place the wine bottle in an elaborate gift basket, nestling it among imported chocolates and artisanal crackers. Mother's birthday party is Saturday. The trial starts Monday. Perfect timing, Rita nods. She'll be too busy playing hostess to notice anything amiss, and her guests will be very interested in her expensive wine collection, I finish, especially the new boutique label everyone's talking about. Alex runs a hand through his hair. What if she discovers the QR code beforehand? She won't scan it herself, I say. Mother thinks technology is beneath her, but her friends will. Her lawyers will. Everyone at that party will want to prove they know something about fine wine. Rita studies the basket, and the evidence will circulate over the weekend, just in time for Monday's opening statements. When I'll be there, I add. Front row. The fluorescent lights hum overhead as Rita outlines the plan. My entrance, the timing, the exact moment to present the digital evidence. Each detail feels like another grain of sand in an hourglass, counting down to justice. Your mother's face, Alex says suddenly, when she sees you in court, after telling everyone you're dead. I know. My voice sounds distant. I've imagined it 1,000 times. Rita gathers her papers. Remember, don't contact anyone before Monday. Let them enjoy their party. Let them think they've won. I lift the gift basket, surprisingly heavy with its cargo of truth. Whitney's monitoring the QR code hits. We'll know exactly who sees what, when. And Emma? Alex asks quietly. How do we protect her from all this? The question hangs in the lemon-scented air. I think of my daughter, probably wearing those unicorn pyjamas right now, unaware her world is about to shift. We tell her the truth, I say finally. That sometimes adults make terrible mistakes, that her mother never abandoned her, that everything's about to change. Rita nods approvingly. Keep that energy for court. The wronged mother, fighting to reclaim her life. It's powerful. It's not an act. The basket handle digs into my palm. They stole my life, my daughter, my identity, made me a ghost in my own story. And now? Alex stands, straightening his tie. Now they learn about haunting. We leave the conference room's artificial chill for the humid evening air. The gift basket swings gently as I walk to my car, the wine bottle clinking against its companions. Inside that bottle, encrypted in elegant black and white squares, lies every secret they thought they'd buried. "Margaret," Alex calls as I reach for my door handle. "Are you ready for this? Really ready?" I think of Mother's perfect party, of Serenity playing Aunt of the Year, of Emma growing up thinking I chose to leave her. The weight of their betrayal sits heavy as the basket in my hands. "I've been ready since I woke up in that hospital," I tell him. "Since they decided I was worth more to them dead than alive." He nods once, understanding. We don't say goodbye, and there's nothing left to say. The next time we meet will be in court, with Mother's carefully constructed lies crumbling around her designer shoes. I place the basket in my passenger seat like a bomb set to detonate. In a way, it is. 3 days until the party, 4 until the trial. After months of fermentation, justice is finally ready to be served. The witness room's leather chair creaks as I shift, listening to Mother's performance through the closed door. Her voice carries perfectly, practiced, poised, precisely calibrated to convey maternal grief. "My daughter was troubled," she tells the jury, each word dripping with manufactured sorrow. The signs were there, but Alexander, he ignored them, pushed her harder, until that night at the reservoir. I check my phone. 3 messages from Whitney, screenshots of QR code hits from the party. Judges, lawyers, socialites, all of them scanning, sharing, whispering. Mother's perfect celebration crumbling in real time. Serenity takes the stand next. I close my eyes, picturing her favourite testimony outfit, navy blue, conservative, grieving sister chic. Right on cue, her voice breaks. "I found the note," she sobs, in her handwriting. "She was my best friend and he didn't care enough to save her." The bailiff appears at my door. 5 minutes. I stand, smoothing my charcoal grey suit. In my pocket, a folded printout of Mother's emails to Dr. Roberts. My funeral shoes click against marble as I follow him through the back corridor. The courtroom door opens. Mother's perfume hits me first. Chanel No. 5, her armour of choice. She's perched in the front row, wine glass from the morning recess still in hand. Serenity sits beside her, dabbing theatrical tears. "The defence calls its final witness," Rita announces. My heels strike marble. Click, click, click. The gallery erupts in whispers. Mother's wine glass slips, crimson liquid spreading across her pristine white silk blouse. Serenity's mouth forms a perfect O of shock. "Please state your name for the record." I lean into the microphone, eyes locked on Mother's rapidly paling face. "Margaret Boyd!" The judge's gavel cracks like a gunshot. "Order! Order in the court!" "Objection!" Mother's lawyer jumps up. This witness is legally deceased." "Your Honour," Rita interjects smoothly, "I have documentation proving my witness is very much alive, including evidence of how that death declaration was fraudulently obtained." Mother stands, swaying slightly. "This is impossible. She's unstable, delusional." "Mrs. Fleming," the judge warns, "take your seat." I pull out my phone, loading the QR code evidence. "I'd like to submit Exhibits A through G, Your Honour. Emails between my mother and Dr. Roberts, dated before my hospitalisation, planning my involuntary commitment, communications with their lawyers about the wrongful death suit, also predating my supposed suicide." "Objection!" Mother's lawyer again. "These documents aren't properly—" "They were properly submitted during discovery," Rita counters, "along with witness statements from hospital staff regarding Mrs. Fleming's interference with visitor access. And, of course, the forensic analysis of the forged suicide note." Serenity's tears have stopped. She's staring at Mother, realisation dawning in her eyes. "Additionally," I continue, my voice steady, "I have evidence of tampering with medical records, witness intimidation, and conspiracy to commit insurance fraud. The judge peers at me over his glasses. Miss Boyd, are you saying your own mother and sister falsified your death for financial gain? No, Your Honour. I turn to face the jury. I'm saying they tried to erase me, to steal my daughter, destroy my marriage and profit from my supposed death. But they forgot something important. And what's that? The judge asks. Dead women don't get angry. Mother stands again, her composure finally cracking. She's lying. She's always been unstable. The doctors you paid to diagnose me before meeting me. I hold up my phone, displaying one of her emails. Should we discuss your offshore payments to Dr. Roberts? The gavel slams again. Mrs. Fleming, sit down or I'll have you removed. The next hour passes in a blur of evidence and testimony. With each new revelation, Mother seems to shrink, her carefully constructed facade crumbling like ancient makeup. Finally, the judge calls a recess. As the bailiff leads me out, I catch Alex's eye. He nods once, relief and vindication mixing on his face. In the hallway, I hear Mother's voice rising hysterically. She can't do this! I am her mother! No, I whisper to myself, tasting victory like aged wine on my tongue. You're just another failed vintage. The courthouse marble echoes with my steps as I walk away, leaving them to ferment in the consequences of their betrayal. The morning news drones quietly on my kitchen TV while I savour real coffee. Not hospital instant, not the cheap stuff from my temporary apartment. Through the window, I can see reporters still camped at the end of our driveway, hungry for more details about the woman who came back from the dead to expose her family's fraud. My phone buzzes. Whitney sent a link to another article. Prominent socialite faces criminal charges in daughter's false death declaration. Below it, a photo of Mother being led from the courthouse, her Hermes scarf failing to hide her face from the cameras. The coffee's bitter warmth fills my mouth as I scroll through updates. Serenity's taken a plea deal, turning on Mother in exchange for leniency. Their lawyer's been disbarred. Dr. Roberts is under investigation. The dominoes keep falling, each one sweeter than the last. Mom, Dad says hurry up or we'll be late for pancakes. Emma's voice from the hallway makes my heart skip. 6 months since the trial. And I still can't quite believe I get to hear it every day. I set down my phone, turning to watch her bounce into the kitchen in mismatched socks and a unicorn t-shirt. Late for pancakes? Never. I scoop her up, breathing in the strawberry scent of her shampoo. Is Dad wearing his silly hat? The one with the syrup stains? Yup! She giggles against my shoulder. He says it's good luck. Alex appears in the doorway, ridiculous hat and all. The diner won't hold our booth forever. Coming. I set Emma down, watching her skip ahead to the car. Before following, I pause at the shelf by our front door. Among family photos and Emma's art projects sits an empty wine bottle, its label still pristine. The QR code is defunct now, its digital secrets having served their purpose, but I keep it as a reminder. Still can't believe that worked, Alex says softly, coming up behind me. Mother's pride was always her weakness. I traced the bottle's elegant design. She had to serve the best wine, impress the right people. Never occurred to her that her perfect party would be her undoing. Through the window, I watch Emma climbing into her car seat, chattering to herself about pancake toppings. The sight still feels miraculous. Have you heard from them? Alex asks. Serenity sent a letter. Said she was sorry that Mother made her do it. I shake my head. As if being afraid of disappointing our mother justifies trying to erase me. And Peyton? Still maintaining her innocence. Says she did it all to protect me. The coffee turns bitter on my tongue. She'll have plenty of time to work on that story in prison. Emma honks the car horn, making us both jump. Pancakes! Pancakes! Coming, sweetheart, I call back, grabbing my purse. Alex touches the wine bottle gently. Should we keep this, now that it's over? I think about Mother in her designer prison uniform, about Serenity's tearful testimony, about all the carefully crafted lies that crumbled like cheap cork. Yes, to remember. Remember what? The revenge? No. I close the front door behind us, leaving the empty bottle standing guard. To remember that sometimes the best way to fight poison is with truth, and that even the most expensive wine can't hide the taste of betrayal. Emma waves frantically from the car. The morning sun catches her hair, the same shade as mine, not Serenity's, no matter how many times my sister played pretend mum at school events. A reporter notices us leaving, raising her camera. But she's too far away to matter. Let them write their stories. Let them talk about the woman who rose from the dead to reclaim her life. Their words can't touch this moment. My daughter's laughter, my husband's terrible hat, the simple joy of Sunday pancakes. Race you to the car, Alex says, already moving. I laugh and run after him, leaving the ghost of Margaret Fleming, the dead daughter, the lost mother, the erased wife, behind with that empty bottle. Ahead lies only Margaret Boyd, alive and victorious, with maple syrup and justice on the horizon. Emma cheers as we reach the car, her voice drowning out the distant clicks of cameras. Can I get chocolate chips and whipped cream? Yes, I tell her, buckling in. Today we can have everything we want. The engine starts and we pull away from the house, leaving the reporters and their questions behind. They'll never understand anyway. Some stories aren't about revenge or justice or even truth. Sometimes they're just about coming home.